road to Noctis.
Hush up. As we close in on the city, I'll have to dodge a shit ton of potholes made by the fuckload of traffic. So I'm gonna need absolute concentration.
Noctis is quaint, but I'm too businessy for my taste.
Well, it is a merchant city.
Indeed, but where's the science? Where's the progress? After all, science is the one who made all this possible. I mean, it's also the reason why we're stuck here.
When we get there, we should go say hello to Dandolo. He hates it when I don't stop by to peck him on the cheek.
I still like this city. It was the first human place where my brothers could roam free.
I didn't see many of you there, though.
So many memories over there. So many bad ones. The nostalgia of spending hundreds of hours in the unloading area, filling and emptying Marcello's sand sails. Is nostalgia the right word? Because past aside, it feels like home now.
Hey there.
What do you want, human?
I heard some mutants escaped from a prisoner camp. You hear anything about that?
Hasn't everyone?
Not in Ophir, where the news never went public, no. It was only a rumor there. What do you know?
I know if Ophir's men hear of it, it will cause trouble for us. For those among us who are still slaves there.
The brothers back there some hope again.
And to show them that we are able to rebel and escape? Yes, hope. So I will tell you, for my people, life in camp was hard, to say it lightly. Hard labor during the days, brutality during the nights. The prisoners would take out their frustration of being locked up out on them. The guards and prisoners alike battered them with their frustrations. Then, one day, one of ours struck a guard who was trying to stop him from going to the aid of a brother. After he fled, the guards then stated that, if he did not come out, they would execute 10 random mutants. That was the moment the rebellion began. A prisoner from Aurora helped my brothers. With tools, they incited riot. Blood flowed. Many died. Some escaped. But, at the start, few thought to flee. At the beginning, they wanted only better lives where they were. It became obvious, though, the repression that would come would be worse than ever. That the only chance for life was somewhere else. Scum, the mutant who struck the guard, led them to freedom. They escaped without even being chased. The story came directly from Scum. A great speaker. A great hero.
Thanks for the information.
The most exotic goods on the planet. All here, in one stall.
I'm looking for information about a caravan that recently came back from Ophir.
Ah, yes. Yes. The merchants who aren't, you mean? Yes, I knew the caravan's chief. And, yeah, the one who came back kinda looks like him, but sure as hell doesn't act like him. This might sound crazy, but seems to me all those merchants were replaced with... I don't know, but they're not from here. And instead of selling their goods, they're busy asking around about the guards and stock and that sort of thing.
Can you point them out to me?
I could, but I won't. I don't want any involvement. I don't want to be replaced. I'll just tell ya, they've been regular clients since they came back.
Fair enough. I'll just keep an eye on your clients for a while. Thank you.
Repent! We won't have access to the Blue Paradise so long as we are not all absolved of our sins. You came here to wash your soul?
I had something else in mind. I came here to ask for some information regarding your parishioners. Did you notice any strange behavior among some of them?
My parishioner's life is none of your business. You're not one of them, and yet you take the liberty of judging them based on your corrupt beliefs. You are not a believer. You are just one of those pragmatic cynicals, a bad seed.
I want you to remember something. Your son killed folks, all to make himself look like one of God's chosen. Remember that? You think he'd still be alive if it wasn't for me?
That's true. You show great mercy, which is a cardinal virtue. You're not the monster people described me. Because strange servants came to find me and warn me against you. They had told me that you had sold your soul. Though now I see through their deceit. But some members of my flock, poisoned by those lies, have one desire about the rest. To put you in the sun, who we were told was your master. Do you care to repent, my son? Your life is in danger.
Can never be too careful with religious types, so I'll have to keep an eye on these folks. They can spread ideas like wildfire.
Welcome, welcome. What's your pleasure? What are you looking for?
Hey, did you by any chance see a caravan come back from Ophir lately? Would have had some members who might have looked different than they did when they left.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. And they're no regular merchants, that's for sure. They've been trying to blend in, imitate our accents, and clothes, and all that. But not that well. They try damn hard, though. What happened to the real merchants? No, forget it. I don't even want to know. Scares the hell out of me. Rather not know.
Fair enough. Thanks. So we know the spies are embedded in certain groups, but to find out who the spies are among them, we're gonna need to keep a constant eye on all of them. Can't do it on my own, though. Gonna need all my brothers and sisters to take turns, so we can stay discreet.
Greetings, Zachariah.
I'm gonna need everyone's help. ASC's infiltrated Noctis, and as you already know, that's not a good thing.
We just got away from them. Why can't they just leave us alone? What? What do you want us to do about it? Most of us are terrified of them. They're immune to our powers.
I understand your frustration and your fear. I wasn't there, and don't even want to imagine what they put you through. But we don't back down from fear. We're military. We fight. And I will be damned if we will back down from a few fucking ASC spies with lightning rods.
I hope you can see our secrets at risk. But I agree, the best defense is a strong first attack. If we hide and wait for them, we put our secret even more at risk. So what do you propose we do?
From what I can tell, the spies have weaseled their way into 3 groups, but we can't move until we know which members are from the ASC. Moles disguise themselves as mercenaries, religious zealots, and even merchants.
Then I'll dispatch some eyes to keep tabs on those groups.
Thank you.
You know how lucky we are that your Technomancer friends are gonna help us? It's terrifying to know how many groups were infiltrated. The damage they could do could bring Noctis to its knees. You really think Victor's gunning for control of the city?
He just thinks it's an obstacle he can eliminate with the sweep of a hand.
Then he's misjudged the size of the obstacle. We're a lot stronger here than he could possibly imagine.
Hey, you! Yes, you! Do you have a moment?
Hey there.
Hello, I'm Brett, and you are?
Zachariah.
A pleasure then, Zachariah. Are you a hunting enthusiast, a trapper, specialist in local species? Maybe a strong fellow like you might be a mixture of them all.
Sorry to disappoint you, but I'm none of those things.
Ah, well, my hope got the best of me. I've been looking for someone to aid in my studies. A shame. Sure you're not a hunter, or even someone who'd want to try his hand at it?
Can you tell me what's going on?
Yes, of course, of course. You see, the focus of my study is the planet's fauna, all the insects and animals brought by the settlers that have since mutated, much like our own mutants, if not in a more spectacular way. Now, I've studied the most well-known of the creatures, of course, but I have heard of much more rare specimens, which I would go to any lengths to study. It would offer great insight into the animal mutations. Anyone can admire their beauty, but what we need is to understand how they came to be what they are. We need to study their anatomy, but they are, of course, rather dangerous.
So you need a hunter to find them and bring back your specimens. I might be able to help. What are you after?
Well, there is so much. There's a black mole and a shield toad. Also a locust I've named Locusta tempestatus, or more colorfully, the storm locust. It's been spotted in the tunnels beneath Ophir.
Zachariah, what can I do for you?
Not much news in Ophir about Aurora defeating Abundance. You heard anything?
Word is that Green Hope's defeat brought an end to the fighting. Aurora apparently took control of the hydroponics center using militia alongside Technomancers to support their army. And at first, Wisdom showed himself a worthy military strategist, using the militia in battle. Such people, properly motivated, can be surprisingly effective. You'd have to bear witness to the poorer classes of Aurora to fully grasp how badly they were mistreated, to fully grasp how much the mere promise of a place in the council would motivate them to fight, to fully grasp how it helped to deliver quite a blow to Abundance. And while Aurora adopted new strategies, Abundance remained predictable. They had almost no Technomancers, since it's becoming harder to find them in Ophir with each passing day. An interesting development, yes? And one that wiped out their army.
Yeah, thanks for the info.
You, sir, just can't...
I need some information.
If it's about anything you see and hear, I'm happy to help. Otherwise, not sure I have what you need.
Unfortunately, this is beyond my skill level.
Get him!
Hi.
Hello there, Mr. Mancer. Good to see you. So, what did you learn?
I was able to get some answers for you.
Great. I knew you would. Go on, what did you find?
Keep names out of this. We clear?
Of course. Our sources are always protected. Go on.
According to my source, the Army's reducing its troops by 50%, and the official reasons are the rising rates of desertion, the number of Technomancer arrests, and the shrinking size of the standing force during peacetime. But she says this doesn't explain everything, as many good officers and soldiers are being let go without reason, and replaced by members of the ASC. In fact, the fear is if the ASC attempted a coup today, the Army couldn't stand in the way because there are too many ASC entrenched in its ranks.
That's terrifying. And it's news that'll hit the hearts of people in this city. All the people with soldiers and their families, soldiers who fought hard, now being fired only to make room for spies. What else did you find out?
I talked to an expert on corporation politics who had first-hand knowledge about Aurora and us.
And how'd he say Abundance lost?
Aurora's troops were led by a general named Wisdom, who used Technomancers, and apparently they've got a lot more than we do, especially recently.
So Abundance arrests and detains you and your brothers, our greatest weapons, and fall because of it. Guess that's karma.
But what's more, they rallied the common people, recruited local and national militias who were feverishly motivated by the promise of gaining a voice on Aurora's council. Aurora became the first corporation to empower its people to fight. So while Aurora brought everyone together for the war, strengthening their numbers, Abundance fought weakened, bleeding their ranks, arresting its own Technomancers. Our army, well-trained and well-equipped as it is, didn't stand a chance. We lacked the Technomancers to lead the charge and the motivation of Aurora's militias to persevere.
That's incredible. By giving power to the people, Aurora all but assured its victory. The power of unification is real. And the self-sabotaging nature of our government ruled by paranoia and fear cost us the war.
I also talked to a mutant who heard about the camp and who led it.
Fantastic. And?
The mutants in that camp were living in hell, day in and day out. They'd finally just had enough. So one day, a guard was beating on a mutant too tired to work. As much as the others pleaded, the guard wouldn't stop. So another mutant stepped in and hit him back. The guards threatened to kill 10 mutants in retaliation. And that lit the fuse. With the help of a prisoner from Aurora, the mutants got their hands on some tools, and the riot started. They weren't trying to escape. They just wanted the abuse to stop. But the way the guards reacted made the mutants fear that it would only get worse. So they got out, led by a mutant named Scum, who's now a bit of a legend among them.
And where'd they go?
I can't tell you that.
Fair enough. You need to protect your sources, right? Another story that people need to hear. It's what happens when you mistreat beasts long enough. Eventually, they'll turn on you. Thanks for all the information.
Once I write the articles and get them out there for people to read, I think the people are gonna have a wake-up call about how different the truth is from the propaganda their government's feeding them.
Hope it makes a difference.
You and me both. The real change has to start with the truth. Hold on. I've got one more thing to ask of you, if I could. One more thing to really make sure we can ignite some change.
And what's that?
We put our news on the city walls. The man who's been doing it for us lives in the exchange. Getting there, though, has honestly gotten too dangerous for us.
So you want me to be your delivery man?
A deliverer of truth to those who have been starved of it, yes. If you would do that for us.
Yeah, I can do it for you. I'll see you later.
Get him!
The opponents of the Assembly are becoming more and more numerous and more reckless. I heard they become so ballsy that they're planning to blow stuff up.
Come on.
Hello? I brought back some articles to hang around your city.
Then keep your voice down. Quiet. Tell our mutual friend that soon
These will be hanging on every other wall in the city.
How you gonna make that happen?
I'll make stencils of the text and then go around the city with volunteers and hit every wall we find. Soon, everyone in Ophir will know the truth.
Hi, Nisha.
Hi, Zach. Everything all...
Zachariah? Your help would be indispensable once more.
I'm listening.
First, I want to thank you for helping me, my mother, and all the mutants.
I don't really feel like I helped your mother, but if you say so.
Sometimes you have to look beyond appearances. I miss her a lot, but at least she did not suffer thanks to you. But let's get back to what I wanted to talk about with you. I managed to get in touch with a man who can provide us with military equipment. And we are going to need it because we have to be able to defend ourselves. But that man will never do business with the mutant. That is why I need you to negotiate in my place. If you wanted to look like a merchant from Noctis and go to the meeting point with me, I'm sure that he would agree to sell you the surplus we need so much.
That doesn't sound too complicated. I guess I can do it.
Thank you. We will never forget what you did for us, Zach. Come join me when you find a merchant outfit, and we will go to the meeting point together. It is below a shadow path. I will show it to Amelia.
Most... most exotic...
Set up the exchange with that Aurora quartermaster if he was a complete stranger.
Some mutants aspire for freedom everywhere, Aurora included. When I learned that the quartermaster was looking to dispose of stocks of merchandise, I sent messengers.
Messengers? Mutant messengers? And he still took the messages seriously?
No, I paid humans, noble-looking ones too. Plus, we have a few sympathizers over there, some of which are merchants who are always more than helpful, for a price.
I thought you didn't want Dandolo in the loop.
Indeed, I had to pay them. A lot.
Quite a pickle. Exchanging weapons with Aurora when half the people in this rover are from Abundance. Goodness, what if... No, we wouldn't get caught.
I hope you can all stay discreet. I'm looking at you, Amelia. Because then our meeting would end rather... I know that Aurora tolerates alliance. Rumor has it that they even considered allying. But Abundance, they'd rather go to war. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have said it. If there's any corporation you want to be heard talking about, just talk about alliance. Avoid the others. Don't want to start anything.
Hey, Zach. Count on me if you need some help during the transaction. I've got real-life experience, after all.
Phobos, if Dandolo finds out you're plotting behind his back...
He's my ally, Nisha, not my mother. Which means I don't have to tell him what I'm doing at every hour. I think that our negotiator's already there. He must be waiting for us below the shadow path.
I'm rather excited for this little excursion. Passing off as a merchant is a welcome change. I haven't played another character in forever.
I don't want to burst your bubble, but we're not going to be in our roles for long.
Zachariah, where's your sense of fun? The simple fact that our mission requires us to dress up and play pretend is already such a beautiful thing.
Thank you both so much for going along. These shipments are of utmost importance.
Hi, I'm Zachariah. Are you Sincerity?
Yes. Your message mentioned that you're a merchant and that you may be interested in some merchandise. I have some overstock that I'm willing to sell, but I want to be sure that this merchandise won't end up in enemy hands. Please understand that the safety of our corporation depends on it, and that I don't want any of my superiors to learn about this type of transaction.
I hear where you're coming from. Don't worry, though. The stocks won't be resold together. I'll spread them out here and there, so no one will be able to track the sales back to you. Obviously, if the stock's disseminated, your enemies will have a harder time mounting a strong enough offense to harm you.
Dissemination means an increase of the odds having a hitman show up at our place with a weapon he wasn't meant to have. So it may not be easy to track back to me, but it could still end with my merchandise being used in a less than patriotic way. So, sorry sir, but the risks outweigh the returns. Someday, I will kill that madman.
Who is this mutant? Why did he kill the merchant?
Kane. He refused any type of relationship with humans, and I guess that is his way of showing me that he disagrees with my trying to do business with them. But he failed the negotiation I had been working on for months without even realizing that we need these weapons. Anyway, I guess I need to find another way to stock up.
You idiot! You brutish! He's just fucked up your whole supply plan.
That was his goal, I think.
Do you really think that? Do you really think he would prioritize his issues with you over his plans for Mutant Valley?
I think the two of us hold very different beliefs on what Mutant Valley could be, on its value to our future.
so sorry, Phobos.
Don't be. Had I known that Kane would intervene, I would have never arranged our meeting there.
Kane, what a guy. Looks like he wouldn't hurt a fly. Instead, he'd kill hundreds.
He hates humans, hates their guts, and he won't stop until he dies. And unfortunately, he has a lot of followers.
What did... I don't understand. We had to buy something, right? So then why did that big mutant kill our trading partner? Did the mutant work for Abundance too?
No, Scott. The mutant doesn't work for Abundance. He killed the man from his own hate, and it left us unable to finish the exchange.
Oh, I see. How sudden. What a twist.
Such a waste. All that time spent for that exchange to turn into... nothing. If I find out who told Kane about the meeting, I'd show him what makes me different from scum.
Take it easy, big guy. With all these intercorporation wars, finding weapons won't be too difficult. I could ask around for you.
Why, thank you, Andrew.
We were lucky Kane didn't attack you too, Phobos. He obviously doesn't like you. You're his natural competition for Chief.
I say bring him on. That brute doesn't scare me.
Zach, I need to talk to you, without the others around. Something personal.
This is not really... Hello, Phobos.
Hello, Zachariah.
Hey, Brad.
Zachariah, how's the hunting?
I've got your last specimen.
At last! Glands of the infamous Locusta tempestatus. Fantastic. My thanks are endless. Tell me, how was its behavior?
You're welcome. Its behavior, well, it looked like it was absorbing electrical power that made it stronger.
You don't say. Fascinating. Might you be willing to make some more collections while I study these? If so, the black mole would be quite a catch. It's been known to dwell in the canyons surrounding Noctis.
I'll see what I can do.
Hi, Zach. How are you?
Hello, Amelia. I'm fine, thanks.
It's regarding what you found in Ophir, you know? In Scott's lab, my father's mail. I've thought about it, and I figured that we should try to find the kid. Scott's son.
Don't you think Scott tried everything to find his son? Besides, he risks reliving something he may not want to experience again.
That boy is connected to my father's disappearance, right? That's what that woman said. And look, the mutants have an almost normal life here. Scott didn't know that the city existed before. We could set up something new. What do you think? If we find out what happened to his son, we could not just bring him back here, but also find out what my dad went to do for Scott. I'm almost convinced that he was trying to bring him back his son.
All right, I'll look into it. Someone must know where to find the information regarding the new mutants.
Thank you. But I don't think Scott should know about all this for now. If something happened to his kid... Anyway, you know?
Hey there.
What are you...
Hey, Brad.
Zachariah, how's the hunting?
I've got your last specimen.
Oh my. A sample of the black mole. I can't even... If you only knew the contributions you're making, the discoveries from the storm locust glands alone. Groundbreaking. And I'll be sure to cite your contribution in all my papers. You've earned it.
A dream come true. Really? You have another sample you're looking for?
Indeed. The shield toad supposedly resides around the Mutant Valley. If you could, I would love to study its skin. Little is known about it. Mutants don't really disclose much about their city, but for a hunter like you, I'm sure capturing such a specimen shouldn't be a hassle.
I'll do my best.
Good morning, Zachariah.
Hi, Zach. How are you?
Hello, Amelia.
You still chasing after your father?
No. Well, alright, yeah, but not immediately. First, I'm gonna need to do some investigative work on this kid who became a mutant.
You want my advice? Talk to Phobos. He's the kind of man who can give good insights on the child. Also, Amelia, I can't shake this feeling that maybe you should look into your own past. Your own story.
Get off my fucking back, Nisha. There's nothing special about my own story. It's a boring as shit timeline that becomes tragic as shit when my father disappears.
All right. I'm sorry. It's your life.
Hi, Zach. How are you?
Hello, Amelia. I'm fine, thanks. Tell me more about you growing up.
What's there to say? I was a ward of the state in Abundance's centers. It was lonely and, you know, the other kids were assholes, but I gotta tell you, those times my dad returned from his missions, and I got to see him, best times of my life.
Wait, what? I thought the reason you'd been placed in a center was that your dad disappeared.
Who the hell told you that? No, I was real young when they took me away. My parents were always off on missions, and someone had to take care of me, you know? I don't even remember living with them. Honestly, I don't want to talk about it.
Sure, sorry. Yeah, of course. Besides your rovers, what else makes you happy here, Amelia?
Nature. Not the bugs or animals and stuff, but the landscapes, you know? Sunsets, mountains scraping the sky, red water trickling down the hills in the spring, gray lichen floating in the morning breeze. Back in Ophir, I used to take the rover out before sunrise just to take it all in. Always managed to put things in perspective, you know? How small we all are.
Amelia the poet philosopher. Who'd have thought it?
Why you gotta be a smartass?
Aha, I'm not. I was being... Just never saw that side of you. The passion. Makes me want to take a rover out before dawn tomorrow.
Well, let's go together. I've always wanted to share it with someone.
What do you think of Phobos?
I don't really know what to think of him. He must have had a horrible life. He's a mutant, and we all know how they are treated. And you know, that liberation story, that mutant nation thing and all, freaks me out a little. He's very smart, however. I sometimes even have the feeling that he can guess what we're thinking.
What do you think of Nisha?
She's stuck up. She was pretending to be a princess in Ophir. Here, she's the boss. Like, I've got a lot of experience, and you don't know anything. Pisses me off. And she seems to forget that she wouldn't have gotten out of Ophir or gone on trips without me. Silly girl.
What do you think of Andrew?
Besides the fact that he still has to fucking square it with Abundance, he isn't too bad. Street smart, and his being a smuggler gives him an edge. But he isn't into me, and I'm not into pining over a guy who doesn't bother to look at me anyway.
What do you think of Scott? You know him well.
Know him well? That's an exaggeration. He doesn't actually say much about himself. Most of the time, he's on his own planet. Before he gets back down to Mars, well, we lose radio communication. He's nice. He regularly checks in to see how I am. He used to bring me gifts when I was young, but he can't help commenting on the chances I take and all. It pisses me off. I like him, but he's not my father, I mean.
Hi, Nisha.
Hi, Zach. Everything all right?
I'm trying to figure out what happened to Scott's son. He was arrested when they discovered that he was suffering from mutation.
I'm not really an expert when it comes to mutants. Maybe you should talk to Phobos. But what I do know is that Abundance keeps its archives on all its people in a big building in the Exchange District. I don't know if they keep any information on mutants, but since that boy was born normal, there are good chances that he has a file there.
Thank you, Nisha. Hello, Phobos.
Hello, Zachariah. What can I do for you?
What do you think of Amelia?
She's an interesting young and courageous woman, but Abundance brainwashed her. As long as she hasn't completely cut ties with the corporation, she will remain wary of everything, of anything foreign. I think that she has some pity for us mutants. That's more generous than what humans usually give us, but we don't need pity. We are a new people, not a gang of monsters regretting who they were. Maybe she will come to realize this. She is not stupid, and when it comes down to it, she has a thirst for freedom despite all the brainwashing she went through.
What can you tell me about Andrew?
He is a hurt man. He hides his suffering under a cynical and detached attitude, but he lost way more than his arm, even if I do not know what it is. If you could help him heal his wounds and become what he ought to become, you will discover without a doubt that he is a very giving friend, and maybe he will be less bitter.
What do you think of Nisha?
She's an unusual woman, Zach. She was locked up, tortured when she was a child. She managed to get out of the situation, and despite what she went through, she went back to Ophir under a false identity. Believe me, you have to be strong to do that. She is the best possible spy. She helps us as much as she can by providing us with vital information on the slave transfers so that we can go free them. And I know that Dandolo respects her a lot. But watch out. She is far from being the sweet and smiling young woman you met in Ophir. She is brilliant, generous, and she can also be merciless.
What do you think of Scott?
He's a great scientist, most likely a very good doctor.
Is that it?
Something bothers me about him, Zachariah. No doubt he hates you a lot. I learned that he went through a hard time, but I have a feeling that his sweet eccentricity is hiding something. But I don't know what, therefore I won't say anything else.
Tell me more about Kane.
Kane is a second-generation mutant. He saw his parents die from bad treatment, and he ran away. He was very young. He managed to survive with a group of former slaves hidden in the canyons. He is proud, self-centered, to such an extent that he can't bear the thought of owing anything to a human. You have no idea how much he hates you all. He is a born war leader, but his hatred is such that it makes him do awful things. And sometimes irresponsible acts. He is very popular among the group of mutants who can't come to terms with the suffering they went through. They want to make their executioners pay,